4,000 meters down, there is no light that has ever reached this place. Not sunlight, not moonlight, nothing until you switch on the flood lamp bolted to the front of a titanium sphere barely large enough to sit in. The pressure outside your hull, right now, could crush a car like a soda can. Inside, it is silent enough to hear your own pulse. And on your display, something just moved that should not be there. 6 hours earlier, you are strapped into a sphere of titanium and acrylic, no bigger than a small elevator. You are being lowered off the back of a research ship into open water, a tiny speck in a vast blue wilderness. This submersible cost more than most people's houses, and right now, its entire job is survival. It must keep 3 atmospheres of ocean from finding the smallest weakness in the hull. You are a submersible pilot, one of maybe a few hundred people on Earth qualified to fly into the hadal zone. This is the deepest layer of ocean that exists, a place where gravity and water conspire to destroy life. Most of your training happened in a simulator, but nothing prepares you for the moment the surface light disappears. You are descending into water that has never once, in the 4 billion year history of this planet, been touched by sunlight. At 200 meters, the last blue light vanishes. At 1,000 meters, the water pressure is already 100 times surface level. By the time you reach your target depth, an unmapped trench 6,000 meters down, you are in a different world. You are sitting inside one of the most extreme environments a human being can survive. The machine protecting you is thinner than a phone case in certain structural points. Today's dive is not routine. A research sonar sweep 3 weeks ago picked up something at the bottom. It does not match any known geological feature, and it does not match anything in the biological database. Your job is simple on paper: go down, get eyes on it, and come back up alive. Nothing about this job is ever simple in practice. The descent takes almost 3 hours. For most of it, there is nothing but marine snow. This is the slow fall of organic debris that has been sinking toward the seafloor for thousands of years. The hull creaks constantly. You have been told 100 times that this is normal. It is titanium flexing under pressure exactly the way it was engineered to do. But no amount of engineering makes the sound comfortable when the abyss is pushing back. Every pilot has the same unspoken thought: if this sphere fails, it will not leave. It will implode in a fraction of a second, faster than a nerve can fire a warning to your brain. You do not think about that for long, because there is too much else to manage. You watch the trim, the ballast, and the oxygen scrubbers that keep the air breathable. You monitor the slow bleed of carbon dioxide every few minutes, knowing your life depends on a gauge. At 5,800 meters, your altimeter shows the seafloor approaching through the gloom. The trench walls rise on either side of you, like canyon cliffs older than anything on land. They are shaped by forces almost nothing lives long enough to witness or understand. This is the part of the job most people never see, the sheer, terrifying alien beauty of it. Ghostly white crabs the size of dinner plates scuttle across rocks that haven't seen light in eons. Fish with translucent skin and visible organs swim past, evolved for a world with no margin for error. Every dive down here feels like visiting another planet that happens to be underneath your own. And then, your sonar pings again, sharp and rhythmic against the silence of the cockpit. Whatever the survey team found 3 weeks ago, you are less than 200 meters from it now. The first thing you notice is the shape. Nature does not build straight lines at this scale. But sitting half buried in sediment ahead of you is an edge too clean and too regular. It runs for at least 30 meters before disappearing into the ancient, undisturbed silt. You ease the thrusters forward inch by inch, your heart hammering against your ribs. Every pilot is trained the same way. Slow down, document everything, and do not touch. The temptation to get closer fights against every survival instinct telling you to hold position. As your lights sweep across it, the structure resolves into something that looks like hull plating, but it is corroded in patterns unlike any shipwreck catalogued in the history of the modern ocean. There are no barnacles and no layers of marine growth you would expect on something this old, just smooth, deliberate corrosion, like it is ancient and freshly exposed at the very same time. Your sonar starts returning readings that do not make sense, shifting by meters between every single ping. It is as if the structure is larger than your instruments can measure, or as if something inside is moving. And then, for just a moment, your external temperature gauge spikes 11 degrees warmer. It drops back to normal in under 4 seconds. No known geological process does that. You radio the surface. The delay before they respond feels like it lasts an hour. It is actually 11 seconds, the time it takes an acoustic signal to travel 6 kilometers. Copy that. Document. Do not approach. Repeat. Do not approach the structure. You hold position, running every camera and sensor for 11 straight agonizing minutes. It is the most disciplined time of your career. You do not know what you are looking at. Nobody on the surface knows either. The job right now is not to find out. It is to survive. You must bring back enough data so that someone, someday, can explain this. As you begin your ascent, you keep the rear camera trained on the structure. You half expect to see something rise after you, a shadow detaching itself from the silt. Nothing does. The trench simply closes back over whatever it has been hiding for millennia. 3 hours later, the first hint of blue returns above you, a welcome ghost of the world above. By the time you break the surface, the sun is almost blinding after 9 hours of darkness. The crew hauls you aboard, and the silence on the deck is heavier than the water below. Every screen on the ship is playing back your footage, and no one is speaking. Nobody has an explanation. Geologists are already arguing over whether this is natural or artificial. They wonder if it is wreckage from something ancient or something the data has not yet ruled out. This is the part of the job nobody prepares you for, the specific weight of the unknown. It is knowing that something is down there in that trench that the entire world cannot explain. It sits in total darkness, exactly where it has always been, waiting for someone to come back. It waits for someone curious enough or reckless enough to look closer into the abyss. Tomorrow at dawn, you are going back down into the crushing weight of the sea, because that is the job. 95% of the ocean remains completely unexplored. There is more unmapped territory beneath the waves than every square inch of dry land combined. Somebody has to be the first person to see what is actually hiding down there. Tomorrow, that person is you again. This is your life as a deep-sea submarine pilot. And the trench is not finished with you yet.